Hey guys, I wanted to. This is just going to be me kind of sharing with you a little bit of good things. Like yesterday, I wanted to tell you how great my going to church yesterday was for me. I really, really got to say I enjoyed it. It was the church's homecoming, which Um, I'm not too familiar with why they call things homecoming and all that stuff, everything, but I just know it was a special event and it's something they do every year. And there was a really awesome professional family of musicians that are called the Shepherds. That's, I guess, their last names. And, it's a father and a mother, and they've been doing this for years. And then the son is like 35 years old, does the drums, but he's been playing since he was 6. They've been doing music for years. Their 2 daughters wasn't with them. They live in North Carolina, and so they don't tour around unless they happen to, if the family, the main components of the act are having to do any shows in North Carolina, sometimes they said that their daughters still join in with them and play shows. But it was really exciting. It was really good, very good songwriting. Matter of fact, I intend to try to find some of their music to share to some of my social media. So if anybody was interested in seeing what I got to experience yesterday, you'll be able to hear some of how they sounded. And hold on. Oh, okay. Anyway, I thought somebody was here. So, it was great service. It was the third time I was in the presence of this particular church's second pastor ever, and he is almost 102 years old. If anybody's been following me for a while, and you remember last year when I first started going to this church, sometime I think it was Christmas actually. I think he was there on Christmas, and that's when I met him. And he had just turned 101 years old. I don't know what month it is, but he will be turning 102, God willing, here in the next month or two or something before the end of the year. So this was the third time I got to be in the presence of this man, and it was really enlightening. To meet someone that old that's still able to move around on their own. All he had was a cane, and he is still as sharp as a fox, or whatever you call it. He's just sharp mentally. He got up there and shared and talked about God for a minute. Then we had a guest pastor, a man named Culpepper, Brother Culpepper. And he gave a really cool service. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I experienced. And I wrote down a few notes. I wanted to share what his message was. He was talking about prayer, and he talked about a question that Jesus asked in the Gospels a couple of times. Actually, I think several times. In this particular thing he was talking about in the same chapter, it mentions it's 2 different groups of people, but in one group, he asked the same question to each group, and each group, one group's in a different state of mind and another group's in another state of mind. But the question was, what do I want? Like, what would you have him do for you? In other words, what do I want God to do for me? What do I need God to do for me? What do I want God to do? He hit home with I think this was a very cool message too. The overall message was that prayer is a meeting with God. It's meeting God where face to face. It's in communication. You're in a zone. You're in a place where you are able to freely open up and receive the energy of God, or the insights, if God is so willing to give it to you. But one thing that stuck out for me was the fact what he said. He said a lot of times people are sitting thinking that their prayers weren't answered. when sometimes maybe what you're praying for is something that you can actually fix yourself or could do for yourself, and that's why it's not answered. So I thought that made a lot of sense. In other words, he said, what you should be asking from God, however you perceive God. I'm not here to tell y'all how to see it. I know that some of my viewers don't even believe in a God, but I do. And I don't just believe, I know there is God. I know that is a word that is not really a good, it's just something I'm using to let people know what I'm trying to allude to, what I am talking about. It's the presence of something that's much bigger than us. It's the presence of something that is greater than us, but also it is us. It's part of us. You know what I'm saying? For me, I see the divine in everything. Even in bad things, you can find a piece of the divine in bad situations. So what he had said was, you want to ask God for things that you can't do yourself. Think about that. If there's something going wrong in your life and there's something that you personally can put some effort into to make it better, then that might be why you're not getting your answer, because you have the ability to correct a lot of things. You can make effort and put forth the work to make a certain situation better. Now, if some things are out of your hand and you can't do anything about that given situation, that's when you need to be asking. That's when you need to be trying to reach out and say, hey, I need a hand. I need a little help here. And sometimes that comes directly from the source, and sometimes the source uses other people indirectly to help you. That being said, I wanted to share this also before we go. Yesterday was such a overwhelming good day for me. After the service and all that and the gospel, we had an awesome meal. I didn't get home till around 2 o'clock. And another thing that happened yesterday for me was that, on Saturday, I had been, I had made a video about why September is such a hard time for me and stuff. And I discussed that on that video on Saturday. But also Saturday on my Facebook account, a dear old friend that I was trying to find that I used to play music with in a band back in the 90s. We played together for 4 years and really good friends. We hadn't talked in years. It's been probably 10 years ago that we had talked. And it's been several years since I was even connected to him on Facebook or anything. But it popped up in suggestions of somebody I might know. And so it was under a different setting than I had actually looked for. I'd looked under his actual name, and then I had forgot his middle name, and he had his profile set under his first and middle name. And when it popped up, I seen his picture. I took a chance. I sent him a friend request. He don't use Facebook much. He accepted my friend request, and within about 10 minutes of accepting it, he had messaged me on Messenger on Saturday, gave me his phone number and everything. So yesterday evening, I texted him. I said, hey, man, if you're available, I can call you. We talked for almost 3 hours. It was almost 10 o'clock last night when I got off the phone with him. And we talked about God. We talked about life. We talked about our struggles, our drug addictions, our past with music and when we played music together. But here's the I don't feel like I keep saying this. I feel like part of me wants to not talk about it so that but me sharing this with you is not going to keep it from happening. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it. So it was told to me that he's got a laptop that he wants to send me, and it has already, it's been cleaned out and it's ready to go, but it has a program in it that is a professional program for recording and stuff. It's like a Pro Tools for the studio, but it's not Pro Tools. If you know anything about music recording, there's a thing called Pro Tools that people use in the studio. Well, this is a similar thing, but it's a different name. And it's, I think he said, supposed to be a little bit simpler and easier for people that are not familiar with Pro Tools to learn and use. This is something he is suggesting he wants to do, so that, because he asked me if I had a computer and I said no. So if he sends that to me, the idea is he's got a lot of music he's writing. He is playing with some other people, but he wants to create music with me again. He would like to explore us making music again. So if he sends me this laptop and it's got this studio on it, he can email me things he's working on, like riffs. He's a guitarist, by the way. You know, I'm a drummer. You know, I'm not the greatest drummer in the world, but the top for what I can do, I'm good at what I can do. I know how to keep a beat, a solid beat. I know how to make a good drum part for the songs we're writing, depending on what style of music. I'm very limited in the ability to just play any style. So I have a certain style of drumming, and it fits for a certain type of writing. But that being said, it works really well with my friend Mitch. So what he would like to do is send me this laptop, and then start sending me like riffs and things through email. He might be playing to like a metronome to keep the timing, send me his ideas, then I can listen to them. I can think of words. I can think of what would I do on the drums with it. So hopefully also what I'll do, I don't know if this program is going to have its own built-in drum machine in it, or if I may have to buy or download a good software, you know, that helps me create drum beats and stuff, since I don't have an actual drum set right this minute, just some sticks and a bucket, meaning I do need to get back to beating that bucket. Might do that after this video, after I walk. So that's really exciting news if this happens. Like I said, let's hope, I'm praying that it comes through. He's also got a really nice microphone he's wanting to send me. He said it's actually a professional podcasting microphone. If he sends this to me, I'll be very grateful. Now, of course, I'll have to learn. Again, you know, I'll have to learn this particular laptop. I'll have to get it, turn it on, see what type of Windows is in it. I don't know if it's an 8, a 9, a 10. You know, I don't know what Windows is in it. But whatever it is, I'll have to learn. Again, just the process, because each laptop's a little different, you know. It's not that I'm completely illiterate with computers, but I can't just probably open it up and just be able to work it like a genius, a person that works computers all the time. But I do know that it doesn't take long. Like once I get it, if I get it in hand and I turn it on, I'll be able to figure out what it does, and then any difficulties I'm having with it, I can probably look up online what to do, or even call my friend up and be like, hey, how do I get into this program? How do I do this? Blah, blah, blah. So that's exciting. Hopefully God will make this manifest. I don't know why anybody would reach out to me after so long and so many years and then bring this up and then not do it. That just would not make sense. Why would you even bring that up if you weren't going to send it? So, the Spirit has been telling me that something is coming my way eventually, and I think this is my answer. As far as for good equipment, you know, like a laptop, a microphone, and this will allow me to make better content with my channel. It'll allow me to learn how to edit and maybe put music to some of the videos, you know, like maybe put a little intro music. Like maybe me and him can write a little bit of music just for the channel that I can splice into each video at the beginning of each video, you know, with a little intro and stuff. I would like to see if I could get somebody to fix me up a logo for Gray Cloudy Day, and maybe a computerized intro to my videos, and then I can learn how to splice them in and edit them into my longer form videos and stuff. That would be really exciting. And of course, you know, I've mentioned over and over, I definitely am still looking at getting a domain and eventually doing a website. With a laptop, I'll be able to do a lot more with that. And also moving forward, eventually doing a podcast. So if he sends me the microphone, that's even a bigger plus. That'll work out for me recording vocals. It'll work out for me doing a podcast type thing when I get ready to do that. And also I'll have a laptop. That'll cut out a lot of worry about trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. So hopefully moving forward, I will get that. I will receive that, and all that'll work out. And if I get the laptop and the microphone and all that, then my next phase, my next step, my next goal will be that hopefully maybe by the end of the year or the beginning of next year sometime within the first few months, I can manage to come up with a electronic actual drum set that I can connect to the computer and that I can, actually make my own physical beat through that and record them to his riffs and create new music with my dear old friend. He's a brother to me. We are exploring the idea of redoing some of our older songs, and he even mentioned possibly trying to physically meet up and practice some at some point once we got this going on. He's just in Tennessee, just a few hours away, so it wouldn't be that out of the possibilities of doing this. And then he would like to actually maybe do a live show, if not more than just one live show. He wants to play with me again live under our old name, doing some of our old songs and some of the new songs we write, and just have a one time, like whether it's just one show or we set up several just single shows, not trying to go on no tour or nothing, but putting some new music out, doing some of our old stuff and actually performing live. He wants to, it would be interesting to do this. Just me and him doing the creative part. And then if we do a live setting, finding two other musicians to fill in for the other two instruments, bass and the second guitar for live performances. I'm looking forward to that. And I think that God is going to make it happen. I just don't see why this would line up and this would be told to me and it not happen. So, but hopefully it does, and if it does, I'll keep y'all informed as soon as I know more. And, if he does get it sent out, I told him to send me a copy of the tracking number so I can keep track of it and make sure, if it doesn't arrive, we at least have some way of, we got somebody to blame, like it's the mail that didn't get it to me and not him, if he actually sends it out. But it's good to have a tracking number, and then I can keep up with it until it gets here. So there's your good news. That's great news. I got to share with you about Christ, Christ, God, the church, and I had a great time. It's been great. I just wish I had felt a little better today, but, hey, we're not always going to be up to par on every day. So until next time, Mr. Cloud, says the eternal moment, over and out. Ditto.